Welcome back to Kevin Toll Reads. Happy Friday. Well, for some of us, we've made it towards the tail end of our work week. For some, maybe not so much. Hopefully, it is for you. But yeah, happy Friday. And we're here with a channel updates, because I have several things I've talked about ad nauseum on my channel, and I'm finally going to take some action towards. So let's talk through these things, because I'm sure you are just over hearing about it as much as I'm over kind of just putting it off and trying to make it through. So I'm going to implement some changes. We're going to start with weekly wrap-ups and Saturday shorts. Those are two kind of pillars of my weekly video output. And I'm going to change it up a little bit, because my aim has always been to get to like 3 or 4 videos a week, and that's it. The problem becomes when you have a guaranteed video on Sunday and a guaranteed video on Saturday. Half or 2/3 of my weekly output is already accounted for, so it doesn't leave me a lot of room to do really much anything, especially if I throw a book review in there. The week's done. And so, yeah, I want to have some more flexibility, as I talked about previously on many occasions. And so I'm going to change things up. What I'm going to do is, after this coming weekend, I am going to start alternating weekly wrap-ups and Saturday shorts. My weekly wrap-up really is going to become a reading wrap-up. I'm going to actually change the playlist on my channel from weekly wrap-up to reading wrap-up. Leave what I have out there in the playlist every week, but yeah, I'm going to go to a reading wrap-up that will be every other Sunday. And then on the Sundays I'm not doing the reading wrap-up, I will be doing Saturday shorts, which means the weeks that I'm doing the reading wrap-up, I won't be doing Saturday shorts. So alternating each weekend, after this coming weekend, I will have one video on the weekend, either a Saturday short or a reading wrap-up, and they will alternate. So you always get one video each weekend, but not two. I think this will give you more flexibility. I think it'll make my reading wrap-ups a little more impactful. I'll have more to talk about. And I think people will be looking forward to Saturday shorts. I think that will also be very interesting. I don't know if it's going to mean more short stories. I've slowly, over the course of time, over the last 60 Saturdays, I've increased my output. Mainly each Saturday I'm doing at least 4 short stories, if not more. And so I like that, but I think this will give me some flexibility, especially trying to get my weekly output down to a manageable, balanceable output with everything else going on in my life. So that's the first thing. Going from weekly wrap-ups to reading wrap-ups every other week. It's same with Saturday shorts, alternating those. So that's the first change. I don't want those to go away, so I definitely wanted to find something in the happy medium. Second, it's TBR reshuffles. I'm going to kind of go away from doing my reshuffles with like 10 or 12 books. It's just, I feel like it pigeonholes me, and I am a mood reader, and when it comes to a lot of different things, and it's a lot of self-creation, because I've done some great things when it comes to book hauls. I've got some really great books, and I've branched out into genres. There is so much around me here in the library office that I want to read, and I feel like when I put together a list for a TBR, I don't ever get everything that I kind of want on there. And so one day it might be, hey, I really need to get back into this series, or it could be where I read a book that's part of a series and I really want to binge it, like 87th Precinct, but I only had one book on my TBR reshuffle, so I don't feel like I can. And so I wanted to parse down the amount that I'm committing to read as part of that TBR list, so that way I had flexibility throughout that period to also go after some mood reading as well. And I think that will help, because I just feel like having a list of 10 or 12 books even though I give myself the flexibility, unlike some others, I'm not bound by a calendar month. I give myself flexibility to do it in 6 weeks or 7 or 8 weeks. I still feel like I would like to throw in more mood reading. And I feel like if I have a list, my goals are these books, and there's 10 or 12 on there. If I go to grab a book that I'm just really interested in and mood read it, I feel like I'm taken away from my TBR. Prime example is The Secret of Secrets by Dan Brown. I'm slowly making my way through that on Audible, but I feel bad when I'm spending time reading it when I could be reading stuff that's actually on my TBR. And so I want to feel okay with it. I want it to be more flexible, if that makes sense. Number 3, I'm still going to take this kind of hiatus from book tags. I've really pulled back from doing tags. I was part of if you call it a problem, I was part of the problem for a long time. I did a lot of tags. And coming away from tags for a while has freed me up to feel less overwhelmed on the video outputs or obligations towards others. Yeah, I still want people to tag me in things, so feel free to continue to do so. I definitely want to see your guys' videos, want to comment and watch and be supportive to you all. But also tag me, because you never know what's going to catch my fancy. And there has been a few here and there that I've done because I liked them. And so, yeah, continue to tag me, but I just don't see myself doing a tag every Tuesday or every week or multiple tags every week like I have been. Or to getting into another situation like I was a couple months ago, where I was so backlogged, I was just trying to pump out tags, try to catch up type thing. And I just don't want to get in that. I just don't want to add another thing that I have to feel obligated to do. Yeah. And then lastly, this one's kind of a kitchen drawer hodgepodge in terms. I really struggled with this one, which is kind of ironic because it's focus. But I struggle with, okay, well, what do I mean? That's very broad. To me, I think it's continue to work on, getting focused. When I recently, a while back, talked about all the series that I have been wanting to read, and having like 15 or 20 active book series just didn't seem to make sense because I never made any headway on it. And so I kind of tabled some of those books and tried to focus on these, and I really haven't been that successful at it, to be honest with you. And all the while, I have a list of like 25 different series that I've interested in or you've recommended. And so my focus has really means like I really need to get very singular about what I want to do when it comes to certain things. And I really feel like the list that I have that I consider active series is still far too big in terms of the number of them for me to feel like I'm making headway. All the while, I have all these other things I want to do. There's different series I'd like to start. There's different books that I want to read. There's different video content that I want to do. And I struggle with some decision making around here because I have a lot of options to choose from. And so focusing, I think, is going to be something that's going to be heavily part of when I do my reflection back to my 2025 goals and what I achieved and didn't achieve, and planning forward through for 2026, looking at goals, what I continue to want to do. I think my focus is going to be more singular. It's going to be more kind of honed in because there's certain things that are non-negotiable. I want to continue to do buddy reads. I want to continue to be involved with our little Book Bros club. I want to do some reading events, even though I'm not going to be as boisterous or hog wild when it comes to those. I definitely want to continue to participate in a way as well. So that's kind of the updates. Continued focus, a hiatus from tags for a while, parsing down what I'm committing to in my TBRs to give myself more mood reading flexibility to pivot and to read what I want to do. And then the change with weekly wrap-ups, moving to a reading wrap-up by month or bi-weekly, and then going to an alternating Saturday shorts. So I think this is definitely, implementing these changes moving forward after this weekend is going to put me in a better position. I've talked and talked and talked about pulling back, but I always struggle and continue to pump out videos. You know, I'm on pace for 6 videos this week. It's double what I really want to be putting out there or that I have time to be putting out there. And so I hope this makes sense. I hope you'll enjoy it. You'll stay on board for the ride. But yeah, that's my update. I hope you're doing well, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.